Okay, so now we know the difference between distance and displacement. We can go ahead and start talking about speed. So here's just a visualization. So in this first picture, we're moving at a speed of 1 meter per second. So here's our position. So it's kind of like a track with the different marks on it. So, and here's the time up here. So you can see, here's the starting line. And then at 1 meter, it's been 1 second. At 2 meters, it's been 2 seconds. 3 meters, 3 seconds. 4 meters, 4 seconds. 5 meters, 5 seconds. So that one's pretty easy to understand. And then down here, we're moving at a speed of 3 meters per second. So what does that mean? Well, that means we're starting at the same spot, but in the same amount of time, it's only been 1 second. We're already at the 3 meter mark. Okay, and then at 2 seconds, we're at the 6 meter mark. At 3 seconds, we're at the 9 meter mark. At 4 seconds, we're at the 12 meter mark, and at 5 seconds, we're at the 15 meter mark. Okay. So, distance. Remember, that is how far apart two things are. And it's going to be measured in meters. Centimeters, millimeters, something like that in the metric system. Something with a meter in it. Time, you know, that's how long it takes something to happen, right? That's going to be measured in seconds, but it could be measured in minutes or hours depending how long it takes it. In order to calculate speed, we have to measure both of those things. We need to measure the distance an object moves and how long it takes the object to move, or the time it takes. So speed is defined as how fast something is, and that's probably how you defined it in the past. But now the more technical term for that is our distance per unit time. That's the technical term for it, okay? The equation for speed is going to be exactly what we just said. Speed is distance divided by time. And the abbreviation for that, so speed is going to be S, distance is V, and time is T. Okay, so you're going to need those abbreviations. You will be given this. This is on your formula sheet, okay? But you're going to need to know what all these mean.
So guys, we're going to talk about how to rearrange this equation. So if speed is distance over time, I'm going to tell you how to do it algebraically, and then I'm going to give you a shortcut. So if I'm going to solve for D, I need to get D by itself. The easiest way to do this is to cross multiply. So if we have two fractions, then we can just put S over 1 to equal two fractions. Then you would take D times 1, and that would equal S times T. Okay, and then you just solve for D. D times 1 is D, right? So distance is speed times time. So that's how you solve for distance. And then to solve for time, you're going to do exactly the same thing. So you'll put S over 1, you'll cross multiply, and you'll get this. But this time we want time, which is not by itself. It is not times 1, it's times S. So the only way to get rid of that S is to divide both sides by S. So they would cancel out. So time equals distance over speed. So I promised you a shortcut. So here's the shortcut. If you're looking at the equation, and this is going to be true for every single equation we do all year long. Speed, this thing equals this thing over this thing, okay? So speed is distance over time. Fine. If you want to solve for the bottom one, these two are going to switch places. Time equals distance over speed. This guy never moves. And if you want to solve for the distance, or, and this applies for every equation, if you want to solve for the thingy on top, what you're going to do is distance is these two multiplied together. And that's going to work for every single equation. And I'll show you that, again and again. But if you memorize this, then you don't have to think about it really hard, ever. You can just use your equations. So now I'm going to show you how to read units of speed. So for A, we have 6m/s. So 6 is the word 6, M stands for meters, and that line stands for per second. So 6 meters per second is how you would say that. B looks probably a little more familiar to you. We have 5 miles per hour. That means that if you drove 1 hour, you would go 5 miles. That's what that means. Okay, so the next one is 100 centimeters per year. And that might be an example of how much a tree grows every year, something like that. And then here we have 1,000 yards per minute. Okay.
You're going to complete the following steps for each problem. I am not going to read these to you. You're going to have them on your paper. Make sure you're referring to them as I go through.